Whether we're ready to embrace the cool, crisp fall weather and try a darker lip, or match the changing leaves with a warm, toasty orange or gorgeous burgundy eyeshadow, changing up our makeup look with the seasons can offer a wonderful creative outlet. And since we're only 4 days away from the official start of fall, I thought today would be the perfect day to focus on fall color. Although simple, neutral makeup looks will always be timeless and beautiful, this fall we're seeing a major shift. Today I'll briefly share with you some fall 2025 makeup trends, and then we'll explore the world of gorgeous fall colors as I demonstrate a variety of different fall looks that you might have fun trying. If you've stopped by for the first time today, welcome. My name is Elise, and as a working professional makeup artist, my mission and passion is helping those of us over 50 with makeup tips, techniques, and products that can take us from good to gorgeous. And occasionally we also dip our toes into the worlds of fashion and health and wellness. Well, first, let's focus on fall 2025 makeup trends. There is going to be a shift from the minimalistic no makeup look to more intensity and vibrancy. The looks embrace warm, cozy, darker hues and a bit more glam, including a bolder blush, which adds more color and dimension to our face. Eyes are all about soft dazzle with shimmery frosted eyeshadow in sheer washes of icy pink, silver, or taupe. Also, pearlescent lipsticks and glosses are having a moment this fall as well. Think pearlized pigments and satin finishes that shift in the light. Eyeliner with a blurred edge, which can be created with an eyeshadow stick, is also part of this fall's look, along with warm saturated shades from rust and clay to brick reds and cranberry. Now let's take a look at the world of gorgeous fall colors. These fall nature images will give us a good grounding in the colors we'll be working with today for our makeup. As we can see, there's quite an array of colors that we can choose from, including greens and neutral brown shades, warm yellows, oranges, and reds, to gorgeous Merlot, purples, wine, and cranberry shades, and even some blues. So here are some eyeshadow palettes where we can find many of these stunning fall colors. First, let's look at a ColourPop palette created in collaboration with YouTuber Raw Beauty Christie that I think has one of the most unusual and interesting color stories of any eyeshadow palette that I have. She created this palette to reflect the colors of the Northwest United States where she lives. And as always, you'll find links to all the products that I'll be sharing with you today that are still available in the description box, and many will also appear in the YouTube shopping pop-ups. Well, next is another ColourPop palette called Orchid You Not, which has a really nice array of purple and violet shades. The dark cozy shades of fall are definitely evident in this next dark mattes palette from Viseart. And this next Nubian Glow palette from Juvia's Place highlights an opposite extreme of bright golden colors. The Warrior 2 palette from Juvia's Place has both neutral and warm shades that are all mattes. There are 16 lovely warm neutrals in the NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette that can work beautifully on their own or with some of the brighter shades of the fall season. And the last palettes I'll share with you showcase a number of the stunning eyeshadow palette color stories created by makeup artist Natasha Denona. The Yucca palette highlights beautiful desert colors, while the Sunrise palette is comprised of brighter sunrise shades. The My Dream palette includes some beautiful purple shades, as does the mini Lila palette, which is unfortunately no longer available. The Zendo palette is an unusual mix of greens and warmer shades and has always been one of my very favorites. And her palette, which really depicts fall in all of its splendor, is her older, larger 28 pan Metropolis palette. The only fall colors missing from this palette are burgundy shades. Unfortunately, this one is no longer available, which is really a shame. Now, let's move on to creating several different fall makeup looks. This will be the very first time that I'm creating these looks, so this will involve a lot of fun experimentation with different color combinations. First, I'm going to create a halo eye look using warm gold shades and berry tones. I'll start by applying this single yellow shade from Sydney Grace, which is called Geese Elaine, all over my eyelid and up to my brow. It's the shade on the farthest left. Now I have to say this is a shade that I rarely use, but it can be a really wonderful base. I'll also put some of this shade under the lower lash line from the middle to the outer corner. Next, I'll apply this berry shade from the Mini Lila palette on the outer and inner corner of the eyelid, as well as along the bottom outer 1/3 of the eye. In the crease and slightly above, I'll apply a light warm brown shade from the NYX Warm Neutrals palette. This is going to go in the crease and slightly above the crease. So this brings everything together. I am going to take a little bit of this yellow and just make a softer transition here. The one thing we do not want in an eyeshadow look is any hard edges. In the center of the eyelid, I'll apply this light gold shimmer from the Juvia's Place Nubian Glow palette. And I'm going to use a flat brush to make this application. And if I wanted it a little stronger, I could apply it with my fingertip. Who knew that this variety of colors could create such a fun look? If you're doing several looks, one indispensable tool is this matte from Sigma. I don't know how well the textures come across. There are a variety of textures here, and when you run a brush across it, you can really get rid of the powder from your brush. I'm going to create a different look on the other eye, and after I finish this second look, I'll add eyeliner and mascara to both eyes so we can take a look at the finished looks. This next look will be a fairly neutral look with a little glam added at the end. First, I'll apply a medium warm brown from the NYX palette in the crease and slightly above the crease, as well as on the lower outer part of the lash line. So this is going in the crease and slightly above it, and I go quite a bit above it since I have such hooded eyes. And now I'm using this pointed detail brush to go under the lash line and to the outer part of the eye. And again, I'm going to connect these two. Above the crease, I'll apply a light brown honey shade from Sydney Grace called Mango Tea. I'm using a slightly fluffier brush to apply it above the warm brown shade. And that creates just a nice gradient going from brown to this sort of subtle, warmer brown. Next, I'll pack a beautiful gold shimmer from the Juvia's Place Nubian Glow palette all over the lid. This time I'm using this gold shade. And I'm using a flat brush, which makes it easier to do this. You can see this is a much brighter gold than the other one. And I'm going to use my finger to make it stand out a little bit more. This will give more oomph to that color. And I want to add just a little bit more of this mid-tone brown here. Now I'll go ahead and add some eyeliner and mascara, and I'll be right back. So first, let's take a look at the eye that has the cranberry along with the gold. Now let's take a look at the other side that has a more neutral look with the medium brown and the gold. Now let me remove this eye makeup and we'll be on to two more looks. If you're enjoying today's video or finding it helpful, I'd so appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't yet joined our family here. And leaving even a short comment will also help my channel immensely. Thank you. Our third look will be a little bit more colorful. First, I'll apply this warm dark brown color from the NYX Warm Neutrals palette at the middle of the upper lash line, then to the outer part of the lash line, and then I'll blend. On top of the brown, I'll apply the deepest orange shade from the Juvia's Place Warrior 2 palette, and now I'm going to take it into the crease and above my crease. And it's also going to go on the outer lower lash line. I'll apply the Sydney Grace Mango Tea shade above the orange in the crease to create a gradation of color. Now I'll go back in with more of the NYX Deep Brown shade on the outer half of the lid. And it's going to go into the edge of the outer crease as well. So I'm taking a little bit of the deep orange blending into the brown so there's no harsh edge. Next, this orange shimmer from the Juvia's Place Nubian Glow palette will go in the center of the lid and in the inner corner. And I'm going to use my finger for this. Our fourth and final look will use some of my favorite berry colors. I'll apply the beautiful bright berry shade from the mini Lila palette all the way across the lid and slightly above the crease. Then I'm going to use my E25 Sigma in the crease area. I'll use a medium warm brown from the NYX palette mixed with a little of the yellow brown Sydney Gray shade and blend it above the crease to soften the look a bit. Next, I'll apply a Sydney Grace Metallic Berry shade all over the lid, and I'll also smudge it under the lower lash line. I'm torn between this color and the one to the right of it. Actually, I may mix both of them together. Using a flat brush, and I'm going to go across the lid. I'll give it a little bit more dimension using this lighter color mixed up to the deeper color. And I'll go with just the deeper color on the outer edge. And then this also gets smudged along the lower lash line. Next, I'll add eyeliner mascara to both my eyes, and we'll see the final results of these two last looks. To complete our look today, I'll add some blush and lipstick. Here are some of the gorgeous blush options I have. Rare Beauty's Nearly Berry shade, Merit Beauty's shade called Après, Makeup by Mario's cream blush in the shade Berry Punch, and the darkest cool tone shade, which is from the Makeup Forever's HD Skin Blush and Glow palette. Rare Beauty is on top and the Merit shade Après is beneath it. As you can see, the Merit shade is a little bit brighter. The Makeup by Mario shade is a little bit deeper, but I'm really excited about this last shade from Makeup Forever. It's much more of a deep cranberry shade. So I'm going to go with the Makeup Forever shade, which I think is stunning. I'm first going to put some on my brush, and then I'll swirl it around on the back of my hand to get an even coverage. Oh, I love this color. Wow. The other shades were very much pink berry. This is much more of a plum berry shade. Go a little bit deeper so you can see it a little bit better. Now, because these are so sheer, you could easily apply these with your fingers. I may be using the shade quite a bit. I love it. And since this palette also has some shimmer shades, I'm going to add a little bit of glow as well. And this is just really a nice soft lit from within glow. And as you can see on the far right, there's some cool tones that are shimmers. Then on the left are some warmer tones. I don't think this is highlighting texture. It's just a nice lit from within glow. And I'm going to put a little bit here, as long as we're going glam. I'm going to go ahead and swatch all three of the cooler shades from the Makeup Forever palette, as well as all three of the warmer blush shades, which would work beautifully for those of you with a warm or neutral skin undertone. Here are the cooler Makeup Forever blush shades, and the three bottom shades are the warmer shades. I have a wide variety of lipstick options which I'll swatch for you. These lipstick colors, as well as the earlier blush colors I shared with you, will all work especially well for those of you who have a cooler undertone like I do. If you have a warmer undertone, check out some richer, deeper warm peach, coral, and red orange blush, as well as lipstick shades. First, I have Flower Beauty's Dahlia Desire, then Wet n Wild's Blind Date, Elf's Satin Lipstick in Untamed, NYX Soft Matte in Copenhagen, Makeup by Mario's Super Satin in the shade Forest Hills, Merit's shade Fashion, Fenty's Loud Speaker, and Ilya's Color Block Lipstick in Ultraviolet. I'm actually liking the e.l.f. shade called Untamed. I think it works best with the rest of the look, so that's what I'm going to be going with. First, I'll apply my L'Oreal Age Perfect Lip Liner in Perfect Burgundy, and then I'll go in with the e.l.f. lipstick and follow it with Catrice's Diamond Glaze Lip Gloss in the shade Less Bitter, More Glitter. Well, I hope you enjoyed our journey into the world of fall colors today, and if so, here's another video that you might also enjoy. I'd love to hear in the comments section below some of your fall makeup favorites, and also let me know if there were any products I used today that you feel might also work especially well for you. If you haven't already done so, please check out my weekly newsletter by clicking on the link in the pinned comment section below. Until next time, I wish you good health and happiness and hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.